Okay, so next up here, we have one that I started and I really love, but the stamping on it isn't the greatest. So here is the Lord of the Rings. We have Gandalf and all of the hobbits, and then the evil side on the other side of the bridge. And I haven't gotten too far in this just because the stamping is so fuzzy to me. So here's the whole thing, and so I haven't picked this up pretty much since I did Gandalf. There's Gandalf. And then we got a little hobbit starting to appear right there. I think the strings are in the way. There we go. Yeah, so again, I really like this pattern, but it's really hard to work on. The stamping is not the greatest, so some of the symbols are really hard to read. I get confused, and that turns me off of it, unfortunately. Next up, we have one of my favorite Have the Note Designs patterns. This is Mini Moon Charmer. Alma's little stitcher. Oh, hello. You snuck in the camera. I'll hold the camera and hold everything else at the same time. No, don't grab it and wiggle it. All right, Alma is stitching this one. She's got like a custom size one that she just kind of saw and got. I decided to get the mini. I love her progress on her video though, or on her project, and she's getting really far on it and it looks amazing. But she was the one who inspired me to get this. So this is Mini Moon Charmer. This is Amy Stewart is the artist for this one. Will you let go of the camera? Let go! What are you doing? He's like learning how to crawl, and so yeah, he's like on the bottom of the camera. I'm gonna have to hold on. Okay, baby is away from the camera. Holy Toledo. All right. Anyway, this is one of my favorite Heaven Earth Designs patterns that I have. This is also one of the only ones that I have on 16 count Aida, and I am doing a tent stitch. I'm using 1, 2, 4 strands tent. Sorry, I'm just taking it out of the frame so you can see the whole thing. If I can get it out, jeez. Okay, all right, here is what it looks like so far. Again, one of my favorites. I love all of the blues in the sky. I love the trees and the stars, and I just really love this pattern. But this isn't a huge start for a Haid. You know, it's the size of my hand, and here's like the whole thing when it will be done. So it's definitely not a huge start, but it's got some good progress on it. Let me see here how many stitches we have done on it so far, because now I'm curious now that I'm looking at it. Let's see. This one is 7.62% done. It's got 5,608 stitches so far. So yeah, I actually just went looking for this earlier today, so I'm gonna pick this up and stitch it today just because I've really been craving working on my Haids, and I just watched Alma's WIP parade and I was like, I have to stitch on it. So this is sitting out for me to stitch on. I'm just gonna set it on the ground with the frame because I'm gonna stitch that in a minute. Okay, next up, so I have these big containers sitting over here. Next up, this was a gift. Monkey and Mouse, I believe. Ashley gave this to me. I think. I'll look it up. But this was a gift. This is a watercolor girl. Super pretty. This is a very, like, the photo that they gave us doesn't do it justice, for sure. But I think I got somewhat of a start. I really need to work on this. I love this every time I look at it. So this is an 11 count. I just converted this to tent not too long ago. So here's the whole thing. Here's my tiny little start. So up here we have full cross, and then I converted to just tent stitch down here. So full cross, tent stitch. So if you hold it back though, you can't tell. So I see a hand. Super pretty. I guess I need to work on like everything. It's just the way it goes. Okay, next up we have one of my window pane girls. Uh-oh, he sees the camera. He's coming back. No! What are you doing? All right, here's a window pane girl. Yeah, that's the full. Very pretty. And I don't think I've gotten a ton done on this one, or at least not compared to the pattern. If I remember correctly, yeah, it's a small start. Okay, so this one's all over the place. So this one, I started here, full cross. I then, well, I did the face first and then I went over in the corner. If I can get all of the strings out of her face. Okay, I did her face, full cross. Turning out really good. And then here, I just recently started here. And did a little bit, and I'm converting it to tent stitch. So hard to see. There's like yellow and like brown and green right there. So here's the whole thing. It is a very large pattern, 50 by 70? 55 by 70. So very large. And those are the small little pieces that I've done. And then here's the back. So there's tent, full cross, and full cross. There we go. There is that one. Okay, next up, we have a little bag that I stitched up. And I have no idea what's in here. Aha! It's one of my other, not really window pane girls, but she's kind of part of the kit, I think. Or kind of. Here's the Empress. Very pretty. Love the rainbow over the wings and the translucent wings. Very, very pretty. So I absolutely love this pattern. There is a but to this. I've stitched a lot on this. I think this is one of my further along kits. It's a 50 by 75. So I'll explain all of that in a minute. So here is the whole thing. Whole thing. And I've stitched a fair bit. So from far away, it looks fairly good, but here's my complaint in that her face kind of looks like a zombie. Her neck is way too dark, and along with her jaw, it kind of gets lost in the pattern. But I do love that you can see the rainbow in the pattern. You can see the translucent wings. Up here is beautiful. You can see her scepter really nice. But that face is just atrocious. This is a pattern I did not start with the face because I really liked the background and I just wanted to kind of work it through. I also am not doing this one extreme cross country or anything. I'm trying to finish sections as I go along. But look at that face. I just gotta fix it somehow. So I need to change those colors to be lighter, maybe do some back stitching. I don't know. I'm terrible at changing patterns. I normally just do them, but yeah, that's bad. So if anyone knows any or has any tips on that, let me know. I'll have to watch this back and see if this looks good from here, but to me it looks like she's a zombie. But here's the whole thing, and again, I really love this pattern, but that face has it in a timeout right now, which is so sad because the rainbow wings and everything are just beautiful. But yeah, that face is really bad. So so sad. Okay, there's that one. Go back into a timeout, you. Okay, next up we have kind of like a forest scenery type pattern. There we go. The picture doesn't do it justice, but this is a picture that it came with. This is a kit that I purchased when I first started getting into stamped kits off of AliExpress. There's the picture. Yeah, that one doesn't do it justice either. All right, well this one, I just recently picked this up and put about 200 stitches into it. So the whole thing is this guy. It's a 40 by 50. So that's what I've gotten done so far. This is all full cross, and I just recently started converting it to 10 stitch. That's kind of what happens a lot of the time when I get something out because I'm feeling like working on it, or I let someone pick something for me. In that I normally pick it up and do about 100 stitches, and then I'm kind of over it. Unless I'm really craving it and I'm having a good time. All right, there is that one. Next up we have another watercolor girl. This one hopefully gave us a, oh, they didn't give us a photo. So let me see if I can get it to show up on camera. There she is. So there she is. I don't think I've done the face on her yet. Oh, yes, I have. Yes, honey.
Can I give the chicken?
Not right now, but you can give the chicken some treats if you want. Huh?
What if they want to?
You got it. Okay, this one I just recently picked up not too long ago. It has seen some light of day. Here's the whole thing. I believe this is a 40 by 50. What is this? This is a, drum roll please. I don't think it says. No, it doesn't. It doesn't say it. I think it's a 40 by 50, I think. Or maybe a 30, no, this is a 30 by 40, this is small. All right, this is a 30 by 40, sorry. So this one, I believe I did the face first and then I moved to the background. I was stitching this kind of all over the place, and then I just recently came up here and started filling everything in so I can see it as it goes. That's kind of a theme with me lately too, is I've wanted to see everything completed as I go, but I am a cross-country stitcher, so I normally just pick a symbol and stitch it until I get tired of that symbol or the thread runs out, and then I pick another one. So that's what I've been doing. But she looks really good. Yeah, she's looking really good. I really love the peony right there. I think that's kind of why I'm drawn to this pattern, is the peony, and she just looks so lovely. Alright, next up we have one that my husband got for me. It's a Joy Sunday. This one, 14 count. So there is that one, super pretty. I recently grabbed it, but I think I got distracted and barely did anything. Yeah, I totally got distracted. I think I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to do 10 stitch or full cross on this one. So here's the whole thing. Uh-oh. Okay, so there's the whole thing. And again, I got distracted. I was testing whether or not I wanted to do full cross or 10 stitch on a 14 count. I didn't really know what I was doing. So then I just put it away, which is so sad because I love this one. So pretty. And the colors are just all my jam. So, yeah. Look at that sky. That wouldn't take me long at all. It's a 34 by 34. It's tiny. But yeah, I need to just get it out and work on it. But I did figure out with 14 count, the 4 strands. 4 strands on 14 count is the jam. For a stamp kit anyway. So I just recently tried it out and it worked. Okay, next up we have a very large kit. This one is my horse girl. She's like a wood elf on top of a horse in the forest. Very pretty pattern, but it is very large. one stitch at a time. There she is. Gotta wait for the lighting, sorry. So there's that. So this one, I did her face, and that's pretty much all I've done. So I'll show you, and then I'll fix the threads really fast. So again, this is very large pattern. And now I will move everything out of her face so you can see the face and the stitching. So here she is. I've done like a little bit of a background branch and most of her face. Not all of her face is done, but I didn't want to do such a really big project and not like her face. Yeah, so I wanted to do her face really fast, and I am happy with it for what I filled out so far. Like I said, not all of it is filled in, but she's looking good. So there she is. Yeah, this is an 80 by 47, so it's 321 stitches by 178. So it's pretty close to a mini Haid. Pretty close. That second number, the 178, is a little bit short for a mini Haid. I think mini Haids are normally like 320, 350 by like 250, 270, something like that. Yeah. All right, next up we have two that I have not started, but I purchased. So this one is one that I purchased off of AliExpress. I love nothing more when I'm having a really bad day, just a really tight hug. Yeah, so it just kind of reminds me of me and my husband just hugging, even though that's not my husband's hair at all. But anyway, it's really cute and I really like it, but I haven't started it. And one thing I don't like about AliExpress is you have to kit up your own projects, whereas if you buy from like a company, most of the time they're already kitted up, so it's kind of a drag. Next up, I purchased this one as well, but have not started it. It's another pixie or fairy. Very pretty pattern. This one doesn't do it too much justice, so let me get the picture on my phone. There we go. Yeah, see, so much better. Sometimes the cover photos don't really do anything justice, but yeah, she's really, really pretty. I love her wings and her hair and her face. Yeah, I just love her. But have not started her. Has anyone been keeping track of this video on how many I have? I'm curious. So many. All right, this one's not quite as full. All right, next up we have a Haid. This is a mini Eevee Evolution, I believe is the name of it. Mini The Possibilities Evolution Rainbow. There we go. Jeez Louise. There's that one. This is for my daughter. She really loves this one. The Eevees are one of her favorite Pokemons. Not too far. This is my very first Haid starting in the middle. Not in the middle of the actual project, but middle of the top row or top page. So this is all that I've gotten done in this little hoop. So yeah, I really like this one. I love the pattern, but again, it's a Haid and I'm having a hard time. Pretty cute though. I love her. That, and I think this one also slows me down because it's not fully kitted up. And a lot of my Haids are not. I think I only have two that are kitted, but not even fully kitted, so. All right, next up we have one that I have not started but really want to, but the stamping isn't the greatest, which is so sad. So sad when that happens. So this is the Starry Night. I believe is what they called it on their website. It's the Northern Lights. Super pretty, but yeah, the stamping isn't the greatest. I'll show you really fast. I did the unboxing for this, and I wish it was better. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not terrible either. It's just... So for example, this is just a dash. And it's probably gonna look better on camera than it is in person. But do you see how like not crisp that line is? So that's kind of like it is for every single symbol. It's just a little bit fuzzy. So this is supposed to be like a greater than sign. And it's not. It's like fuzzy like right there. So, yeah. It stinks. I'm still gonna do it because I love this pattern. But yeah, not yet. I really gotta be in the mood to work on something that's not very crisp on stamping. All right, next up we have one that I have not started. This is a counted kit that I got. I thought it was a stamped and it wasn't. It's just counted, so I haven't started it. Next up we have a big one that I've purchased. I've had my eye on this for a while and I finally found it went away and then it came back. This is a terrible picture too. It's a European room. Kind of reminds me of like 1850s or so. It reminds me of the things that the rooms that I listen to like in my books. My Regency romance books. Okay, this is what it looks like. Super pretty. You got the fireplace, the beautiful mirrors, the chairs and the furniture. I don't see a chase. No, but it's lovely. She's like peering out the window. Yeah. I barely started this though. It's a very, very big canvas. I got really big on this one because I wanted it to show all the details that I wanted. So it's a 68 by 88. This might be one of the bigger ones. I think the only other bigger one than this is the Disney window pane one. All right, so here is the whole thing. Like I said, it is ginormous. So big. And I've only done this stitching right here. Right here. And that's not even a ton. And you can barely see it, so I'll turn it around. That's what I've done so far in this huge thing. So yeah, I need to get this out. The stamping is really good on it. All right, just a couple more and we're all done. All right, next up we have the Little Mermaid. Hey. All right, here's the Little Mermaid. I just recently got this one out and put like another 100 stitches into it. Just enough to convert it to 10 stitch. So this one I've done her face to make sure it looked good, and then it did, so I moved over here. I believe this is like the ship in the pattern, but here's the whole thing. 40 by 50. Ariel's face looks great though, so I need to, now that I got tent figured out, gotta get going on a lot of my projects. That's kind of how it is. Like I figured out 10 stitch, now I gotta bust out some moves. All right, next up, I don't think I've started this one, which is so sad. I love this one. This is a woman and her dragon, and it reminds me of like Spyro on the PlayStation. You know, you got a little purple dragon, and then she could be like the character or whatever. Haven't started it yet. All right, and last one for this filming is another one I have not started. This one is Jasmine Beckett Griffith. Anyway, yeah, super pretty, but have not started it. All right, that's it for this recording, and we'll get on to the next recording. Okay, officially a different day. I have no idea what I did last video. Hopefully it continues to be okay. All right, next up we have a hand-me-down, I guess I would call it. It was a gift. This is from Abby. I have mentioned her previously in the video. Her and her husband used to make project bags, and they made this cute little bag. And she gifted me this pattern. She doesn't want to stitch it anymore, so I'm gonna stitch it and most likely send it back. But the pattern is Jack from The Nightmare Before Christmas, where he's like Santa Claus and then he's the Pumpkin King. So yeah, she sent this over for me to finish, And I have not started it yet, but this is where she left off. It's right here. And then I am going to do this part. So I'll finish off the pattern. So again, I haven't started it yet, but technically it has been started. Just not by me. All right, so there is that one. Let me get it back in the project bag here with the pattern picture. Silly. Okay, this next one, I don't remember if I showed it in the last video or in this previous video that I started filming a couple days ago. So this one is a custom made kit that I had created. It's I'd Rather Be at Hogwarts, and now that I'm mentioning it, I'm pretty sure I have shown this. So I'll quickly show it just in case, but this is a 14 count, very big pattern. I've done this much. I'm converting it to 10 stitch, or I'm about to anyway, because I'm not a huge fan of 14 count. Yeah, here's the whole thing. I've just barely started this. Yeah, it's huge. And that's all I have done. So yeah, I'm pretty sure now that I'm showing it, I think I've already shown it. Oh well. I tried to keep things separated from like what I've filmed versus what I haven't filmed. But yeah, I have so many, and I got out my Christmas stitching, so some of the things kind of got mixed up. So all right, next up we have a Joy Sunday that my husband got for me. This is, I just call it the Winter Chapel, but it's Winter Night Scenes 2 is the name. And I haven't gotten too far on this. This is a 14 count, and I'm still kind of getting used to 14 count. All right, but it's so tiny compared to all my other ones. So it's a 90 by 126, which I think technically is maybe a 30 by 40, maybe, since it's like 14 count, I'm not sure. But here's the whole thing, and I've done this section right here, and then some of the trees, the little tree branches. So here's what I've done. Yeah, not a ton. I do have this out for stitching on Jolly Christmas or Christmas in July. So that's set aside. Okay, next up we have a new start, and I have to bring up the pattern for you. I'm starting this one with Abby, and it's a winter or Christmas pattern or sampler. View PDF. We got this one on Etsy, and here is the pattern. There we go. And I am stitching this on a 19 count Aida that I self-dyed. And so far so good, considering I just started this July 1st. Well, 2nd for me, 1st for her. So here's the whole thing. But that's where I've gotten to so far. Not too bad. I think it was exactly like 600 stitches. So not too much, but you know, it's a good start. Okay, yeah, so we still have a huge container and a basket, but this is the last of it. So let me just quickly show you. Yeah, look at that. It's like taking up my whole couch. Okay, let's dive right in. So this basket is all the stuff that I'm going to take to my Boogie's stitching library at my local Crestwell library. It's a stitching group that I've started. So everything in this basket will be there. First things is elephant that my mom and Nana and I have. I haven't started it yet, but I'm taking it with me for other people to stitch on in the library. Next up we have my little sea turtle. Again, haven't started it. I'm taking it to the library. Another one I have not started. We have our Cinderella carriage. I'm trying to take like a variety of things to the library for other people to stitch on, because you never know what people are gonna like. This one I've only done a stitch with me, and I only have like 5 stitches in it, so I'm just gonna, yeah, barely started that. All right, next up we have this beauty. So this one I'm UFOing because I already showed you guys the other one that I have as 11 count. This one's 14 count, and I had so many problems with the stamping on this one, so I'm gonna take it just in case someone can see it better than I can. All right, this one again has not been started. It is our unicorn. I'm gonna take that with me. And I'm gonna take the 18 count rose. Let's see. I think I've shown you all of these ones so far. I'm just showing you guys quickly what I'm taking to the library. This one right here. Again, I haven't really started any of these. All right, I'm gonna be taking this one. So this one I have started. I'm not a big fan. I think this pattern is too small for what it needs to be to show the detail that I wanted. And I've barely stitched this. I've stitched like, well, maybe I need to stitch more to find out, but I've only done the eyes or part of the eyes and already determined that I was like, oh, nope, I don't like it. And I think it's just because I think it just might be too small. See, I've done like 10 stitches maybe. So maybe I need to stitch a little bit more, but I just kind of fell out of love with this one and I barely started it. I think it doesn't help that the mock-up picture that they gave me is just so bad. It just looks really bad, so it's kind of turned me off of stitching on it. And that was the cat going in my room where the baby is sleeping, and my door creaks, so hopefully the baby doesn't wake up. Okay, next up we have one that I have not started. We have this magical castle. Let's see. Okay, this one I haven't started either. My daughter kind of fell out of love with Frozen very quickly. So by the time I got this, she was kind of over it. So here's the pattern. I need to be able to see and I can't. There we go. So it's Elsa and Anna. And this one I didn't realize, so this was one of my very first like purchases of a stamped kit, and I didn't realize how big this actually was. It's a 60 by 80. So I've learned a lot since first buying all of my projects. Definitely would never buy a pattern this big like that again. So this one, I guess I do have like, I don't know, 20 stitches into it. So I have a little bit right there and a little bit right there. So, but that's it. It's right now. So yeah, like I said, my daughter kind of just fell out of love with this one. All right, here's another one that I haven't really started. The picture for this one is terrible though. So I'll show you guys a picture of what it actually looks like. Is this one. Super cute. I love this pattern. I just haven't started it yet. So I thought, you know, someone else might want to work on it. Okay, and last but not least, I believe, yeah, so this one I haven't unboxed for you guys or shown on the WIP parade yet, but I'm also taking it. This is a Joy Sunday 11 count of Hogwarts. So I got the dark version of this one from a different maker. So yeah, so this one's being UFO'd basically. So it has a needle minder. Pull the needle off. Here we go. All right, so this one, I haven't gone very far on it. I'm just not a big Joy Sunday fan. So I'm trying to be. I think it just takes practice. Although looking at this right now, it looks so cool. Oh, I don't know what I want to do. So I just got the other like night version of this one. It's so wrinkled. I can't get it unwrinkled. Anyway, looking at this, it looks so cool. Yeah, I'd planned on UFOing this, but I might just keep it just in case I start to not like the dark one, because now that I look at it, it looks awesome. But when I was stitching it, it definitely did not. So yeah, I don't know. It just looks so good. And it has back stitching, whereas the other one doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. Here's all that I've done. And again, yeah, yeah, looking at it now, I'm like, oh, what was I thinking? But it's fine. Maybe I'll take that one out of the box. I don't know. I'm so indecisive sometimes. Sometimes I'll look at something and I'm like, this is terrible. And this is terrible working on. And then I'll pull it out like later. I'm like, no, this was good. What was I thinking? This is fine. Which is why I have such a hard time getting rid of some of my cross stitching patterns. Oh, here's another UFO. This one also doesn't have a very good picture, so I gotta show you on my phone. This is my sea goddess. Again, it was a purchase, one of my very first purchases. And this is when I first just didn't know about stamp kits and how you have to look at them far away, otherwise it doesn't look good. I'm bringing this one to the stitching library, so yeah, I started stitching this and I got super mad because I couldn't see very much. So here's the whole thing. When you have it close up though, the face just looks terrible. And I was like, this looks awful. But I didn't realize that with stamp kits, you have to hold them far away. And I don't have enough to be able to make the face pop. Like I need to stitch more around it. But I just haven't been feeling this one, and I haven't picked it up since I first did this bulk. So I think it's probably just time to go. So I'm taking it to the stitching library that I'm hosting at the library. Okay, those are all the things that I'm bringing to the library, I believe. I'm all back in a little basket for right now. And we'll get back to the full-on WIP parade, since most of these ones I haven't actually started. They're just patterns that I have. Okay, now to all the ones that I have started in this ginormous container. Okay. I guess I haven't started this one because it's like brand new, but I have this Elven Sisters. We have like the sun or like the light elf fairy, and then you flip it over and you have the other sister, either the moon or the dark fairy. And I love this one. I love the colors. I love everything about it. So yeah, but just haven't started it yet. Okay, next up is also a very beginner purchase. I got this from Tapestry Market, and I love the aesthetic. You know, she's just like peaceful. It's snowing on her face. It's amazing, but it's also very big, and I didn't really know what I was doing when it comes to ordering. So I really would like to get this pattern that's as like a significantly smaller. But here's like the, pattern's really weird on this one. I'm not gonna be able to get it folded again. What is happening? Ah, I opened it and I shouldn't have. Okay, so yeah, this one's barely been started. Again, I got this one around this with the same purchase, Elsa and Anna. So here's the whole thing. And like I said, it's just huge. But now that I've figured out tent stitch, it's not a problem. I should probably just pick it back up. But yeah, I've done all of this right here. So, yeah, there we go. And this is an 11 count, but it looks like I'm only using 2 strands. I think I started using 3 strands and it was just too much, I believe. Because I'm looking at this right now, and this is 3 strands right here, but it was way too bulky, so I started doing 2 strands and I really liked it. So honestly, if I do if I do 11 count stamp kits full cross, I definitely should start using the 2 strands because that looks great. Looks great right there. So yeah, I really love this pattern. It's huge. I haven't got that far yet. And I honestly haven't picked it up since I first did that section, even though I love this pattern. So yeah, I just need to, but I don't want to part with her. I don't want to part with her yet. So she's being kept in my stash for Yater. That's what we say at our house. Not later, but Yater. Okay, next up we have a Heaven Earth Designs pattern. This one is Mini Realm of Enchantment. Again, Heaven Earth Design. When I do this one, I will be cutting off some of this, I believe, and just kind of doing the horse and the fairy. Haven't fully decided yet though. And this was my very first Haid project that I started 10 stitch on such a large count. So this is 18 count. As you can see a little bit of test stitching right there on the margin. But here's where I've gotten to so far. I do like 10 stitch on 18 count. I use 3 strands and it seems to be just fine. Yeah, it looks great. Just need to continue. But I will tell you, so after doing my recording, and of course it's Jolly July and Christmas in July, I pulled out the castle, my Noashing castle, and I did about 600 or so stitches on it. Oh, and I felt so good. And that one's also 18 count Ada. And man, I should probably start doing Haids on 18 count because it was a dream to work on. A dream, absolute dream. Okay, next up we have my little dragon. I have 2 of these, so I have this one and I have a blue one facing the opposite way. I haven't started the other one. I just have it in my pattern keeper stash. So this is a Sheena Pike, Heaven Earth Designs. This one's also a mini. And again, I haven't gotten started. This is barely started. Barely started. This, I started kind of in the middle on this one. And yeah, I stitched on this one and then I just don't feel it anymore. And again, I don't know if it's the 28 count or if I'm just not feeling it. I don't know. Okay, next up, we have a pattern that doesn't have a very good picture, but it is going to be UFO'd, unfortunately. So this one is a fairly recent unboxing. This is Magic Book Girl. And she's awesome. I love the aesthetic of the pattern, but the details just weren't popping out. So I started this with Abby, and she stitched the feather and I stitched the face. And her feather, you couldn't tell it was a feather, and the face is okay, but some of the highlighting is a little weird. So I just decided after seeing her feather that I didn't want to do this one anymore. So this will be just UFO'd, and I'll probably just take all of the thread and put it back into my stash. Next up, we have one I have barely touched. Again, this was a very first kind of bundle purchase. I don't have a good picture for this one either. Seems like they didn't give pictures back then. So this one is Stitch. It's a cute little Stitch. This is a 14 count. Again, you know me with stamped 14 count. Just don't do very good. So here's the whole thing. It will be super cute. But I've only done that. So not very much at all. If I do pick this back up, I will just do tent stitch. And I use 4 strands tent, I believe, on 14 count stamped kits. But I'm just starting it out, so don't quote me on that. Next up, I have a pattern that I have not started yet. It is a counted kit that my mom purchased, but she didn't realize it was counted. She thought it was stamped. So here's the pattern. Very pretty, hasn't been started yet. Haven't got that far. All right, next up is a pattern I have not started. I did a small stitch with me and that was it. So here's the whole thing. Kind of like a European room, very pretty. But again, I did like a very small stitch with me that has like 20 stitches on it maybe, and that was it. So, yeah. Are you seeing a theme here? There's a theme. All right, next up, I have a recent unboxing. This one doesn't come with a picture, so I have to show you a picture. This is one of the coffee cups that I have. The Starry Night coffee cup, if I can find it. Do I not have a picture of it? There it is. All right, so here's the Starry Night coffee cup that I have. Very pretty. I haven't gotten a huge start on it, but it's definitely going. So just working on the background part of it and then slowly moving to the cup. But again, this is like a very small, minor start. And then here is the back stitches. Again, I have no rules when it comes to stitching. These hanging threads I always clip off if they start to bug me or at the end of the project. There we go. I really like this pattern. This one stays in like kind of like my main drawer of stitching. So, a good one. I love coffee. I love the Starry Night, so it all kind of just works out. Next up, we have a Filipina pattern that I don't, or no, this isn't. Excuse me, this is my snow dragon that I am stitching with Abby. Again, no pattern picture, so I have to find it on here for you. This one was purchased off of Etsy. And here it is. It's Patterns by A Stitch. Cute little snow dragon dream catcher. And this is a self-dyed piece of 28 count even weave. And this is what I've gotten to so far. So I'm almost done with his face and then I can do the back stitching, and this part is completely done. So there is that. Okay, next up we have Hogwarts Emblem. This one I am stitching with stay-at-home stitcher Erin. She is, let me show you the pattern first. Haha. Here is the pattern. I am not doing any of the black background. She is. And yeah, here it is. This one I have recently converted over to 10 stitch instead of full cross. Here's the stitching on the back. And here is where I've converted it to tent. This whole leaf is tent stitch, and the whole top of the flowers, like right up here, is tent stitch as well. Close up you can see, far away or further away you can't. And then way back here is about 3 feet, so you definitely can't. One thing I like about tent stitch, you can't tell the further you stand back. Next up, I have a recent unboxing and a recent start. Don't even think I have enough to show you, but I'll show you anyway. Yeah. So this one, I have the Hade pattern of this one, except it doesn't have I myself am strange and unusual. It doesn't have that part, and I'm not going to stitch that part in this pattern. I'm not a big fan of words in pictures. This is a very puny start, but it is a start nonetheless. So I've just done these red stitches right here, maybe 100 stitches, maybe a tiny bit more, and the whole pattern is again this. So not a very big start, but a start. Actually, I think I'm gonna take the hoop. And it sounds like the baby is woken up. I was hoping I'd be able to sneak this video in without him waking up, but alas, the cat. I need to oil my door again. All right, we'll pause right there and I'll go take care of baby. Okay, hopefully everyone's taken care of. I started to fall asleep while putting the baby to sleep, and then the baby wouldn't go to sleep, so I was just sleeping. Anyway, next up we have one that I don't have a photo for. Oh, yay! Okay, this is my Phoenix pattern. It's kind of hard to see because there's a lot going on. So, there's like a bunch of phoenixes around the outside of the pattern, I think. Anyway, really hard to see on camera, but I have a start. So I have like several, like 4 or 5 colors picked out, and I'm just gonna kind of make it like it's, what do you call it? When the thread changes colors from one color to another. My brain, I think I'm too tired. Anyway, so variegated, thank you. Oh geez, thank you brain. So I'm basically starting from dark and then moving to light, and then I'll just, I haven't decided if I'm then gonna go from light to dark or if I'm gonna just go straight to dark again. I haven't decided, so if you have any suggestions, let me know. But basically it's this pattern all the way around, and this thing is huge. This is 18 count Ada, and it's ginormous. Yeah, so it's just so big, but it's very pretty. So yeah, not a very big start, but a start. Next up we have my Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. Love this pattern. One of my favorites that I have. So I love the watercolor feel. Lots of background noise from baby toys. So anyway, so here's this. And I gotta take it out of the frame because I have a fair bit done for you guys to see. I just recently switched this one to 10 stitch. I really debated on whether or not I wanted to continue it full cross or if I wanted to do 10, but I just ultimately decided the last time I was stitching that it needed to be 10 stitch. So here is the whole thing. There's the whole thing. So I started 10 stitch in her hair. Everything else has been full cross. So here's a close-up. All this background is completely done full cross. And then over here, I started 10 stitch. So from right here, you can't even tell. Right here, you can. And then I started like these stitches right up in here, I believe are all 10 stitch in her hair. So I just started filling in her hair with 10 stitch. Let me pause so you can see that. So there's the full cross to 10 stitch. But from back here you can't tell, and I just love her. So I'm trying to get more of her finished so I can move on to the Beast. So yeah, I really like this pattern. Hello, teeny tiny. Okay, so there's that one. Again, love that pattern, so that's definitely a main. Oh goodness. Okay, next up we have a fairly new-ish, so not a ton of progress, but some. My daughter picked this one. No, my daughter did not pick this one out. I picked this one out. So this is like a snake witch-ish. She's got like the phases of the moon. She's got like a little witch's hat. She's got a snake around her arm. She's got some like lit candles and stuff. Super cool pattern. And I love how it's turning out so far. So all that I'm stitching this one 10 stitch as well, and all I've gotten so far is her face. But her face, I am very happy with her face so far. And I've started to stitch, I've stitched all the way down there. So, which is like part of her necklace up here and part of her dress down here. Here's the whole thing. Here's the whole thing. Somewhat closer. and then straight on. And so here's the back. Crazy messy, but that's typical for my backs. Yeah, one of my favorites, so this is definitely gonna be like a main stitcher. As soon as I'm done with Christmas in July, I think I'm gonna pick maybe 10 or so patterns that I just really love and try and get some progress on them, I think. And then as soon as I get bored with those, I'll maybe pick another 10 and I'll have like a little basket next to my couch. I think that's what I'm gonna do. However many will fit in a basket, I'll have next to the couch and I'll just go through them until I go through it and I'm not feeling any of them. And then I think I'll switch because my brain's really having a hard time focusing on what I want to stitch lately. So yeah. Next up, we have one of my favorite pictures, not necessarily a favorite pattern. So again, this is a very first purchase. You'll notice it's extremely large. It's a 50 by 70. It's also silk, so I had no idea what I was doing when it comes to like silk and size and things of that nature when I first started, which is why I'm doing these unboxings for you. So, not obviously this video since this is a WIP parade, but here is my my lioness. And it's not a very good picture. It doesn't really do it justice, so I'm going to pull up the picture on my phone and show you. So my very first lion, again, I love her, lioness, I guess. Love her, she will be gorgeous, but she's also silk. So I have learned while stitching silk that it's very messy and you have to use wax to make everything, your stitches like lay neater. However, I just recently found out, or taught myself, I guess, that when you're stitching silk, your stitches are significantly neater when you just do 10 stitch. You do the full 6 strands just like I do with my cotton CXC threads. I guess they're not cotton, they're polyester, excuse me. Yeah, your stitches lay so much neater and nicer when they're just full on 10 stitch. So I'm gonna convert this to 10 stitch. I think I'll be significantly happier with it because then my silk won't fray. It'll just be nice and neat. So yeah. Because I love this pattern. This pattern is not going anywhere. I do pull it out every once in a while. I just, you know, I do about 200 stitches on it and then I'm kind of done with the silk. So, but it's really soft. I really like it. Here's one of the first leaves. Again, all of these stitches I'm showing you on this right now are full cross, but I'm going to convert it to 10 soon. And then I started on her head and started filling in her eye. Her eye is not fully filled in. She's missing like 2 or 3 stitches on the eye. But yeah, I'm super excited to do this one. I hope it turns out as good as I want it to. Yeah, she's beautiful. And again, not going anywhere. Because I love her. I have thought about getting a new one of these as 11 count and smaller. But I think she definitely deserves the silk. It's just, I gotta just get used to it, I think. Which, like I said, I think I figured it out. So, I figured it out. Okay. Oh, goodness. Next up, we have one of my Harry Potter silhouettes. It was a custom created pattern that I had created for myself. Pattern picture does not do it justice. Actually, yeah, on camera it does. So here is my stag. And I think I put this down. So the stamping isn't the greatest on this kit. It was a purchased kit. And the fabric is very stiff. I need to loosen up the fabric. To do that, you just take this and you roll it this way all the way. Then you twist it all the way down the line. And then you turn it and do it this way, and then you do it the opposite. And again, when you roll it all the way up, you just be rough with it, basically. It needs to be rough. It needs to be roughened up. But yeah, so I just need to do that, and then I just need very good light, because this is not stamped very well. But here's the start of the castle. That's kind of at the top. And then I've also started down here which is, I believe, the people. Not the people, above the people. This is the people. This is just kind of background, I think, right here. But yeah, so this is the outline of the castle up above, and it's looking really good. So I just need to pick this up and stitch it. I will convert this over to 10 stitch like everything else I am doing. I purchased this one the same time I made the custom Snape one that I just showed you not so long ago. Definitely, yeah, a huge Harry Potter fan if you haven't figured that out. Or if you haven't been watching and you're new to my channel, I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. So there we go. Okay, next up we have a pattern that I purchased because it reminds me of my daughter. Or not purchased, excuse me, this is an unboxing. So this is an 11 count stamp kit. So we have a black cat that we call the Fat Bean. That's not her actual name, but that's just what we ended up starting. It's a nickname. Anyway, our poor Fat Bean. So Fat Bean, and this kind of looks like my daughter. So it's like an anime version, and I love anime. So this is just a good pattern. I got this just, I mean, she likes it too, but I got it for me because it reminds me of her. So, but this is a very pathetic start. I have 15 stitches. Woohoo! So I'll go and I'll have good intentions to start something, and then I'll get interrupted, forget that I was stitching on that, stitch on something else, and then realize it's at the bottom of the pile. When I put the pile away, and I'm like, oh yeah, I never did that. But here's the full thing. Yeah, she definitely deserves to be stitched on. That's pathetic. Normally when I start something, I at least get like 100 stitches in. But yeah, I must have really gotten distracted with this one, which is so sad. Yeah. Oh, what can you do? Okay, next up we have a couple patterns that I have not started, but would love to start. First one is a Joy Sunday that my husband got me. It's like a little beach scene, some little sailboats. Very pretty. It is 14 count. Next one I would love to start, but just haven't. It was a purchase. It was a silk kit. I gotta take it out of here so you can see it. So here is another watercolor girl. She's beautiful. I believe that's like cherry blossoms. Yeah, cherry blossoms that she's kind of laying in. Very pretty, very petite, but have not started it. And it is a full silk kit, 11 count silk. It's a 30 by 40, so not too big. But again, I started like the ocean that I have in silk that I showed previously. If you watched I believe it was in the first WIP parade. I started that one and I was like, oh, silk is probably not for me. But then I started stitching 10 stitch and like it, so I eventually need to start this, but I just have way too many that I need to start that. She's kind of been kind of at the bottom of the pile. All right, we only have 2 more, it looks like. So yeah, 2 more. So next up is my Sleeping Beauty, Aurora. So one of my very first favorite Disney characters and Disney movie. I used to watch this and like all the time when I was little. I still love this movie. I still love Aurora. I love the story. I love all of it. I haven't gone very far on this. And I've again discovered 10 stitch, so I need to convert it over to 10 stitch. I think the only stitching that I've done on this is the Stitch With Me that I did, which is just that. Very teeny tiny, again about 100 stitches or so, maybe a tiny bit less. You can tell I haven't stitched this because it's still very stiff. When I go to start working on something again, I gotta loosen up the fabric. So I do this to roll it all the way up. And again, I twist it back and forth all the way down the line. This is how I soften my Ada or my stamped kits. I will also be doing a short video on how I do this too. So now I'm gonna turn it, or excuse me. See, I rolled it this way, so now I gotta do it the opposite way. There we go. Anyway, before I start stitching on something, I normally do this because I hate stiff, working on stiff kits. So I just do this and it really loosens it up. Already it's starting to loosen and be softer. So I just kind of do this until it's nice. I'm not perfect when I do this. I'm just trying to roughen it up. Yeah, significantly softer. See, now it kind of wiggles instead of being so stiff. Also, putting it in and out of the hoop or frame will help. But yeah, just be rough with it. I only have a couple stitches in here, so I don't really care if I'm really rough with it. But anyway, so that's how I soften my stamped kits. And there's the whole thing. Again, very pathetic start. I need to work on this along with everything else. Sorry if I sound like a broken record, but I mean, I have all these patterns. I love all of them. I wouldn't have chosen them if I didn't. There's not quite enough time in the day. I'll be stitching all of these until, you know, in the grave. I'll just be stitching in the grave, it's fine. Next up, we have the last one. Ooh. We have my Bella Filipina. This is Mayari, Deity of the Moon. Beautiful pattern. I went to order all of my beads for this, and some of the beads are like back ordered, so they ended up giving me a refund, which is kind of stinky because, you know, I kind of need it. Here's where, so this is a custom dyed piece of 28 count even weave that I dyed myself. Here's the whole thing, but I'm gonna take her out because she's really kind of hard to see. I don't want to lose, this is a good needle for this. So I'm stitching this one, 28 count even weave, 2 over 2. And I'm also doing 1 over 1 on the skin. I decided if I'm gonna spend the money and the time to stitch a fancy lady, I might as well do her and spend the time to do the beautiful skin. So here is where I'm at with her. She's looking down. Here's part of her hair with a little pony right here. We got her shoulder and arm. We have her little, the spot for her little arm jewelry and part of her dress. So a very good start on this. Definitely need to get it back out. I love my pretty ladies. The Bella Filipina patterns are just so beautiful. Okay. Let's do the drawing, shall we? So on my first WIP parade, I was doing a giveaway. I reached 100 videos on my YouTube channel, and I wanted to celebrate that and commemorate that with a drawing / giveaway. So the giveaway was kind of a different type of giveaway. I wanted someone to be able to pick what they wanted or what they won. So I will be drawing someone here in just a second for the giveaway. And yeah, you get to go on to onedaysavings.com and you get onedaysaving, not S, saving.com. I'll put the website right up here. And you get to pick a pattern, any cross stitch pattern that you would like to pick. Yeah, and then I will do an unboxing video and send it to you. So yeah, let's go ahead and do the drawing. There we go, fetch. Select a filter by keyword filter. The keyword is supposed to be stitching. Stitching, include, okay. All right, here we go. Drum roll, please. Continue. Please wait while we load. There's 56 comments. We're going to pick a winner, and the winner is Penny Parker. Love your videos, love hearing the kids playing in the background. Reminds me of when mine were little. Don't know how you have the time to do so much stitching. I know Penny is a subscriber, but I will double check just to fully confirm. So Penny, I will reply to your comment letting you know that you won, and then please reach out to me. I will leave my email address in the comment. You can send me an email, and then we will do some shopping. So thank you all so much for replying, sending the comments, joining the giveaway. Thank you all so much for following me on this stitching journey. I love doing the unboxing videos, doing updates, just talking to you guys in general. I feel like you're just right in my living room, right across over there, and we're just stitching and talking about cross stitch. So I love you all so much. Thank you all so much for joining me. I really appreciate every single one of you. Congratulations, Penny Parker. I will reach out to you, and I hope you all stay safe, stay warm, and take care. Bye.